Welcome to another lecture on W211. This lecture is the last lecture before the midterm exams, and right after this particular lecture we shall end up the circuits having only the resistances and the DC networks. So in this lecture we shall study only two theorems. One is the superposition theorem and the second one is the maximum power transfer theorem. The superposition theorem deals with the individual responses of the sources against some any parameter of a given element, and the maximum power transfer theorem deals with the maximum power transfer from the source to the load. So let us start with these two topics. So maximum power transfer theorem deals with the transfer of power from the source to the load, right? So there are two aspects of transferring the power. The first thing is the efficiency, how efficient we are actually transferring our power from the source to the load, and the second one deals with the amount of power transfer, which is usually required for data and communication systems. So the main concern here is to explain the process of power transfer, how we can maximize the process of transfer. So for any given circuit, for example, we have, for instance, we have a circuit here, and we want to connect some load resistance R here. So we want to see what should be the value of this RL to maximize the flow of power from this whole circuit to this particular load. So maximum power transfer theorem deals with the value of load resistance RL that results in maximum power being transferred from this network to the load. To find out the value of this RL, we first need to establish the terminal characteristics, and we need to simplify this given circuit. Remember that in the earlier classes we have learned the methods to minimize a given circuit using the concepts of the Thevenin voltage and the Thevenin resistance. So let us convert this network into an equivalent Thevenin network, and thereafter we can connect this resistance RL, and then we can apply some mathematical techniques to identify what value of RL can have the maximum power absorbed. So we have, let us find out the Thevenin equivalent here. Finding out the Thevenin equivalent, we come up with this particular network here. So this is the R Thevenin and this is the V Thevenin, and here we have connected the load resistance RL, which value we are interested in finding what is the value of this RL. So the first step in finding out the value of RL is to express this in terms of this Thevenin equivalent. This is the first step. As a second step, we will describe the power transfer. We will describe the power dissipation in terms of these three variables: V Thevenin, R Thevenin, and this load resistance RL. So in terms of V Thevenin, R Thevenin, and RL. And as a third step, because we know that for any given network this V Thevenin and R Thevenin are actually the fixed quantities, so we need to see that only this resistance RL contributes in the power dissipation that will maximize the power transfer from this Thevenin voltage source to this resistance RL. So we shall solve for only the RL for derivation of maximum power transfer theorem. So to solve for this particular circuit and the derivation, or to derive the value of the load resistance RL, we should notice that there is some current I flowing here in this particular circuit, the value of which is given by the Ohm's law, which states that the current flowing in a closed path is equal to the voltage divided by the resistance R. So I is equal to V Thevenin over R Thevenin plus RL, right? So this is the current which is flowing in this particular circuit. Next, because we are only interested in finding out the power dissipation here in this resistance RL, because the rest of the circuit is actually a constant entities, both the V Thevenin and R Thevenin will not change. Therefore, we are only interested in finding out the power which is dissipated in this resistance RL. So, to solve for this resistance, the power here in this RL is equal to I square into R, and if I substitute this I in here, then I get V Thevenin over R Thevenin plus RL whole square into RL. So this is the power which is dissipated in this load resistance RL. Now, because we want to find out what is the value of this RL across which the maximum power is transferred, so therefore we will derivate this particular equation with respect to the resistance RL. So if I derivate this thing, then P dP over dRL, if I derivate this particular thing, this is equal to V Thevenin whole square into R Thevenin plus RL minus 2RL into R Thevenin plus RL divided by R Thevenin plus RL to the power 4. Okay, now because if some equation is maximized, if some function is maximized or minimized, the derivative of that function is equal to 0. That must be equal to 0. So if I put this particular thing equal to 0, then I am only left with this particular thing, that R Thevenin plus RL whole square is equal to 2RL into R Thevenin plus RL, right? So if I solve for this particular thing, then I will get that RL is equal to the R Thevenin, and this is the maximum power transfer theorem. The maximum power is transferred when the load resistance becomes equal to the Thevenin resistance of that particular network, right? Now if I plug in this particular equation number B, if I put it back into this equation number A, let us say this is equation number A, then the power which is transferred after we plug in the value of RL equal to the R Thevenin, that is the maximum power, and that is equal to V square Thevenin over RL divided by 2RL square, and that is equal to V square Thevenin over 4 times RL. This is the value of the power which is transferred from the source to the load when the load resistance becomes equal to the Thevenin resistance. Now the plotting here is quite simple. So you can actually plot it with that particular thing. So this is something like we will see this type of a graph, where at this particular point, if this is the power P, then at that particular point where we have the maximum power, the load resistance RL is equal to the R Thevenin resistance. Remember there that this particular theorem, maximum power transfer theorem, deals only with the maximum power being transferred to the load. If we create, for example, we have created this particular circuit, for example, this is V Thevenin, this is R Thevenin, and we have this resistance RL, then the efficiency here is only equal to the 50%. However, this efficiency is is not the concern here. The concern here is that the maximum power is transferred from the load to the from the source to the load if we have this RL and R Thevenin equal. So we have efficiency equal to 50%. This means that all the circuits containing the questions of RL requires all the techniques that we have learned so far, because to find out this V Thevenin, the circuit may have dependent sources, it may have independent sources, it may have a network where only you can apply the mesh analysis, it may have a network where only you can apply the node voltage method, or you can go for the super node method and the super mesh method, and thereafter you have to apply the KCL and the KVL, and sometimes you may require to apply the concepts of the equivalent resistance. So in a nutshell, this maximum power transfer theorem encompasses all the areas of learning that we have seen so far. So that's why this if you practice only this question, so you will all be able to identify what we have learned so far, and that actually gives us you a practice of all the other material as well. Let us have an example here. In this particular example, let us say this is 360 volt, and then we have 30, and here we have this 150. So we want to find out the value of this RL here. So the first thing here is to find out the Thevenin equivalent across these two terminals A and this terminal B. So the V Thevenin which is equal to VAB can be obtained by applying the voltage divider rule. So 150 into 360 divided by 150 plus 30, and the V Thevenin is equal to, it is equal to 300 volt. Next comes the R Thevenin here. So to have the R Thevenin, we have to deactivate this voltage source. So after short circuiting this particular source, we have R Thevenin, which is equal to 30 into 150 divided by 150 plus 30, and therefore R Thevenin is equal to 25 ohm. And this R Thevenin equal to 25 ohms tells us that the value of RL should be equal to the R Thevenin. So if we want to maximize the transfer of power from this 360 volt source to the load resistance RL. Next, we want to see what is the power which is dissipated here. So to find out the power, we will use this particular expression that we have calculated here. Let us say this is equation number C. So by using equation number C, it is equal to V Thevenin square divided by 4 RL. So this is equal to 300 square divided by 4 into 25, and that is equal to 900 watt. So this is how we actually solve for the load resistance value, provided that we have obtained the Thevenin resistance and the Thevenin equivalent circuit. Let us move on to the last theorem, and that is the superposition theorem. Superposition theorem states that if we have in a given network, if in a linear circuit we have multiple independent sources available, then we can find out the individual responses due to those independent sources, and the cumulation of those individual responses shall give us the value of the actual current which is flowing through that element. So for example, we have a source here. Let us say this is 10 volt, this is 2, let us say this is 5, and here we have a current source. Let us say this is 2 ampere. So superposition theorem states that if this current I is required, then this I has actually two components. One is because of this voltage source of 10 volt, and the other one is because of this 2 ampere current source. So the net currents I is equal to I10 plus I2. So how can we find out? We will tackle one source at a time while all other sources are deactivated. Remember that although that there are some proofs available in the literature that states that the superposition theorem can be applied on the circuits having the independent voltage sources as well as the dependent voltage sources, the concept of superposition theorem is only applied on the independent voltage source, independent sources in our textbooks. For example, we have this 10 volt here and we have this 2 ampere here, so we will deactivate one at a given time. If we have a third element here, for example, we have a voltage source here, then we will not deactivate this particular voltage source, right? So because this is actually a dependent source. However, there are certain proofs available in the literature that states that we can do the same sort of techniques on the superposition theorem as well. So we will deactivate one source at a time. So first of all, let us find this I10 here. So 2 ampere source is deactivated. So after we deactivated this source, this means that we have to open circuit this particular current source. So the remaining circuit is this one. So we have this 2 ohm and this is 5 ohm. So what is the current here? I is equal to V over R, and that is equal to 10 divided by 7, and this gives us 1.42 ampere here. So we have got the value of this I10. So to find out what is the value of I2, we will short circuit this voltage source to deactivate it. So the resistance here is 2, this is 5, and here we have this 2 ampere source here. So we want to find out what is the current here. So that can be calculated using the current divider rule. So current divider rule states that this is 2 into 2 divided by 5 plus 2, and that is 4 by 7, that is equal to 0.57 ampere. So the net current I which is flowing here, it is actually the sum of these two these two individual responses. So hence we can say that it is equal to 1.42 plus 0.57. So the total current I is equal to, that is equal to 1.99 ampere, which is flowing through this 5 ohm resistance. So this is how we can apply the concept of the superposition theorem. That's all for today. I hope you all enjoyed the lecture series so far. After a short break, we shall resume our studies on the inductances, the capacitances, and the first order circuits alongside the second order circuits. We will also discuss the some of the preliminaries for the AC circuit analysis. So till the next lecture, take care. Allah Hafiz.